I added my wife's affair partner to our couples counseling session using his own work email. 9 years married, and we'd finally agreed to try counseling after months of the kind of distance you can't point to but feel in every room of the house. I booked the first session myself, a Thursday morning with a therapist named Dr. Reyes off Route 30, and I actually believed it could fix things. I wasn't going in looking for proof of anything. I was going in hoping there wasn't any. To make room for that session, I gave up a few things without turning it into a whole thing. I dropped my fantasy football league and canceled the sports package on our cable bill. I sold my kayak to a guy off Facebook Marketplace for $600 and put it straight into the account we started calling the US Fund, on top of an extra $300 a month I'd been setting aside since we agreed to go all in on this. I even stopped picking up overtime shifts at the warehouse on Saturdays, so I'd have the energy to actually show up for this. The deal was simple, the kind we shook on at the kitchen table. Full honesty, split the copay evenly, no secrets between sessions. $300 a month for 4 months came out to $1,200. That number sat there quiet in the account, waiting, the same way something else had been sitting quiet on our shared calendar the whole time. 2 days before the appointment, I opened that calendar just to confirm the time, nothing more than that. Scrolling back through past weeks, I noticed a name repeated too many times under titles like coffee catch-up and quick check-in, always around noon, always on days she told me she was running errands at the mall or the pharmacy. My thumb stopped over the trackpad, hovering, not clicking anything for a long few seconds, while I counted how many Tuesdays that name showed up, then counted again to make sure I hadn't miscounted the first time. I cross-referenced it against an old coworker directory she'd left open on our laptop months back, still logged in, and found his work email listed right there under the marketing department. Below it, one calendar entry had a description field with nothing but the usual, semicolon, typed into it. Nothing else, no location, no agenda. I closed the laptop slow, both hands flat on the lid for a second before I actually pushed it shut. I didn't say anything to her that night, or the next morning. I packed the kids' lunches, drove them to school, and told her I was looking forward to Thursday, and I meant it in a way I hadn't expected to still mean it. The night before the session, I sat at the kitchen table a long minute before I opened the calendar invite again. I'd already paid the $150 copay online. My mother had already agreed to watch the kids for the hour. If this went sideways in front of a stranger, there was no taking that hour back, no refund on any of it. I opened the invite anyway. I clicked into the edit screen on the shared calendar, added his work email as a guest onto the existing meeting, and left every other detail exactly the same. Same time, same login link, same subject line she typed herself weeks ago. I didn't send myself a warning, didn't tell her, didn't change one other thing about our morning. I closed the laptop and went to bed. Thursday came. At 9:56, I logged into the video call from the kitchen table. At 9:58, Dr. Reyes joined, gave a quick hello, and started pulling up her notes. At exactly 10 o'clock, a third box appeared on the screen, his name printed clean under the little green dot, and he said, "Hey, sorry, am I early?" before he even looked at who else was on the call. My wife's face did something I'd never seen it do before, her mouth opening without a sound coming out for a full 3 seconds, while Dr. Reyes glanced between all 3 boxes on her screen, pen frozen halfway through writing a date on the top of her notepad. "You've been checked out of this marriage for 2 years, you know that. I tried talking to you about it a dozen times, and you just nod and go back to your phone." He listens. That's all this ever was. Someone who actually listens. This isn't fair. You set this whole thing up like some kind of trap. You're the one who's going to have to figure out how to fix this now, not me. I didn't raise my voice. I reached over and clicked the button that removed him from the call, one tap, and set my own coffee mug down in the exact same spot on the table where hers had been. Dr. Reyes cleared her throat and said maybe we should reschedule, her hand still on the pen, not writing anything down. She mentioned, almost to herself, that she'd only had her own practice going 6 months, still building a client list, one referral at a time. She looked steadier saying that out loud than either one of us did on that call. "You'll have to figure it out," I told my wife, and closed my laptop before she could answer. I picked up my phone and called a lawyer 2 towns over, someone from a list I'd already saved a week earlier, just in case. Through the kitchen window, I could still see her sitting at the table, laptop shut in front of her, hands flat on the wood, not moving.